Hey people, part 6 of this ongoing journey to finish the Caldecotts. Recently I mentioned I was going to try to go a little bit more recent to try to finish up. When you're looking at a list of stuff to collect and you don't have the easy to get things and you're working on the hard stuff, it gets kind of old. And as you can see, I really started to really dominate the 90s and 2000s, and only missing a handful from that period. So whereas before I've been going pretty slow in the acquisitions, which has been almost a necessity really due to the cost, I splurged a bit, although really these are not too expensive. And when you add them all up, it's a lot, but really no more than a previous expensive set of acquisitions. So since the last video, I have gotten 13 new first edition, first printing, fine condition signed Caldecotts. The earliest, I believe, is Alan Say's Grandfather's Journey, and the latest is Locomotive, which is not the most recent, which was Dan Santot's Beagle book, but Locomotive. So much info on these that it's a little daunting. I'm going to try not to spend too long on each one. I just want to kind of go over them a little bit. So, in order of acquisition, I found this really, really beautiful copy of Jackie Martin's Snowflake Bentley. Mary Azarian was the winning artist. This is a completely flawless fine copy of the 1999 winner. A brand new Mylar, it looks like, and once again, not price clipped. If you've seen Beth Krommes' work, Mary Azarian's work is very similar. It's like colored woodcuts. You can see they both signed it on what I assume to be a sort of post-Caldecott war signing tour, if it's not in the original release. Pretty nice. I love woodcuts personally. These aren't quite as good as Beth's, but a nice winner. And this copy is, like I said, remarkable. Looks brand new. Number line down to 1. Gets pretty easy to figure out these first printings in the more recent years. Nothing weird going on. Next one I picked up was Golem. If I can find it now, it's getting hard to actually find stuff. Which was David Wisniewski's 97 winner, a little bit earlier. Also a fairly pristine copy here. Wisniewski died a few years after this book came out, I believe. I don't know a whole lot about him. He signed on the front free end paper there. No price clipped. Clarion books. I don't really know too much about them, but I think they did a few of these winners. You'll notice sometimes that sometimes a particular publisher comes into vogue, and they'll actually win a few over the course of a few short years. Kind of makes me think there's some favoritism going on for friends of publishers, but number line there. This is kind of a Jewish folk tale, I believe. One of the more unpleasant looking winners in terms of just, beauty factor. It's really kind of dark and creepy. But a beautiful copy of it. Next was David Wiesner's version of the Three Pigs. obviously a well-known story. This is the second, I believe, of the 3 Wiesner wins. Oh, I actually always take this stuff out. I didn't this time. Anyway, this is a great copy. They're all great copies at this point. I mean, I'm not settling for... There's no reason to settle for a shitty book at this point in the cycle. As his drawings go, I'm not a big fan, as I've said, but this isn't bad. Also Clarion Books, signed it up there. Number line down. Decent drawings. I don't know what the big deal is, once again, with him. But I have to say, this is, as his books go, this is the favorite of the 3 winners for me, just artistically, for him. Kitten's First Full Moon, Kevin Henkes. Not sure what the big deal with this one is either, but seemed like the committee had some years in there that were really trying to nudge back against the sort of highbrow appeal of some of the other winners that have happened, and just wanted to go with a full-on, kiddie book. This is like baby stuff here. Drawings are okay, but it's like it's almost the same drawing every page. Like I said, goes without saying that these are in fabulous shape. It's really easy to find stuff from the last 10-15 years. That was the 2005 winner. One of the ones that was harder to find, and is actually one of my favorites of the new pickups, is let me fix something here. Put this down for a second. This pile is actually getting so big now that I have to actually watch it if I want to, sorry about that, not ruin things. Anyway, the 2004 winner is Mordicai Gerstein's The Man Who Walked Between the Towers. And it's a little bit morbid because it's about the World Trade Center. In fact, there's some shots of it being built here, which I think is a really powerful image to start the book with, considering this is only a couple years after 9/11. Really beautiful, actually. And he has a great little signature in with the 2 towers and the guy walking between them juggling. But this is the book of the story of Philip Petit, tightrope walker. Mordecai Gerstein is a fairly well-known illustrator. I knew him previously as the author, or rather the illustrator of the Something Queer books, which were kind of big in the 70s and 80s, late 70s and early 80s that I remember from school. This is a really beautifully illustrated book, pretty much up and down. It's on Roaring Book Press, which is now part of one of the major publishers, but was originally, I think, more of a boutique small press in Connecticut, and it's actually from the town next door to where I grew up, Brookfield. Copyright page, beautiful shape. Once again, I mentioned the oldest book of the oldest winner of the new batch is Alan Say's Grandfather's Journey. Japanese author illustrator. He's done several known books that I can't remember the names of at the moment, but this is his little grandfather sketch. He pretty much did this on every copy of this he signed. It's nothing special. Beautiful condition. These are really some of these illustrations in this are really lifelike and kind of painterly, and both lifelike and painterly. A lot of text in this one, or not a lot of text, but a lot of emotion in this one, and you know, you can see how a sort of, you know, liberal-minded bunch of librarians would like that story. I found it nice as well. Like I said, this is the '94 winner. I picked up a ball for Daisy. Chris Raschka, who has now won twice. He won for Hello Goodbye Window, which I'm going to show in a second. But this was the 2012 winner, more recent. Both original artwork from this book and The Man Who Walked Between the Towers is currently available at the Mickelson Gallery, rmickelson.com, I think. If you're interested, I haven't looked at, I don't remember the prices, many thousands. I don't see anyone really knocking down the walls to get illustrations from this book, but they're kind of cute. Signature there, Schwartz Wade books, never heard of them. Another number line and stated first edition. Kind of a little bit surreal, good, interesting use of color. I think this book has no writing in it. It's kind of told pictorially, but kind of interestingly done. I like the snow parts here. Again, perfect shape. I just love seeing these without the metal. I mean, you see these all the time in every store with the metal, and it's like, well, you know, they didn't always have that. Somebody picked up the book without a metal and wasn't feeling, you know, superior in the know when he bought it, because it was unknown at that time. Eric Rohmann's My Friend Rabbit, another one. 2007. Great shape. These are all unclipped too. I'm not fooling around at this point. It's so easy to get this stuff. Another Roaring Brook Press one from my home state. Signed. Very close to publication. These are very, very nicely colored illustrations. Again, another one of these really simple stories. I really like the illustrations. I'm not so down with the story in some of these really simple books, but interesting nonetheless. Earlier I mentioned Locomotive. I'm going to put this down for 1 second and fix this. I won't hurt anything here. Very recent winner. This is actually one of the larger books I own. This and Polar Express from this collection. Looks mostly good. There's a little bit of a, if anything has a condition issue, it's actually this one. I don't know if you can see it this close, but the bottom is bumped a bit on the bottom of the spine. Not a big deal. Fixable if I get it out of the jacket. Really nicely illustrated, this book. Really, really nice illustrated end papers here, which I personally always love. I love when they do something interesting with the end papers and it's not just white. It's a story about locomotives. I mean, what do you think it would be? stated first and number line. I really wanted to get one where he did a sketch of a locomotive, which just makes sense, right? Why get a flat side one if he's going to give you something else? Yeah, really interesting. I just realized I may have flipped this over. But the camera rather. Really nice. A lot of these bindings are still really good. People were worried that, you know, bindings would get kind of crappy as time went on, but these are nice. It's not the latest winner, but the second latest, I believe, 2014. Only a couple more here. Erin Stead illustrated Sick Day for Amos McGee. Her husband Phil wrote it. I don't know what it is about these drawings, but these sort of more delicate, you know, pen and ink, or I forgot exactly what it's just pen and pencil and colored pencil and stuff. But I love these more delicate drawings. A little more interesting story. This reminds me just of the kind of more melancholic flavor of the 70s and 80s stuff. Really interesting, actually. This is one of my favorite pickups. They both signed it. It looks like a stamp on there. That doesn't look like a drawing. But Sick Day for Amos McGee. 2011 winner, I believe. Well worth picking up. I mentioned Chris Raschka winning for the second time. This is his earlier time. This one's especially interesting to me because it's written by Norton Juster, who says right there on this first printing sticker, author of The Phantom Toad Booth, one of my favorite books as a kid, and actually one that I'm hoping to pick up a copy of very soon for a little break in the Caldecott action. This is a really crazy illustrated book. Just out of control. Surrealism. It's sort of childlike. Killer colors. I mean, the colors, look at that. The colors in this book are pretty beautiful. Anyway, you get the picture. This is, I believe it's signed by both, but I don't remember. No, it's only signed by him. I would have loved to get Norton Juster's on there. Man, that's a killer title page. Look at that. It's got the window drawn there, sketch, and his name. And that is the 2006 winner, I'm going to say. And then, oh, I skipped one, actually. I'm talking about David Wiesner. And I had gotten Tuesday his first winner. And I mentioned Flotsom was another winner of his that I didn't particularly care for. That's 2007, actually. And, bland. Kind of comic panel-y. I don't know what the big deal is about this book, but it does have an interesting visual look, I guess, in certain ways. Signed in his typical signature, also Clarion Books. Number line. A lot of reinforced bindings. I'm usually pretty careful. Like I don't want to get the reinforced bindings if a non-reinforced binding exists, because I like the cloth ones, but a lot of them are this kind of 1/8 cloth or quarter cloth, or it's cloth on the edges, but then they reinforce the other part. Anyway, last one of this bunch is, let me fix this again, doesn't fall over too much. Mentioned her earlier, Beth Krommes, The House in the Night. This book really kind of blew people away artistically. Check out the yellow end paper with the yellow and black front. That's some good design. She's a woodcut artist. This is mostly a 2-color, whatever you want to call it, 3-color, black, white, yellow illustrations, woodcuts. Really, really beautiful, signed by both. Number line, fine condition. Really interesting. She actually did another book called Blue on Blue, which is woodcuts. Didn't win any awards or even honors, I think. But you should really pick it up. It's even more beautiful than this book, and it's just out of this world color, blues and greens. And some of her, she doesn't sell originals, but she will sell prints of woodcuts, and she sells them in limited editions. So once she's printed one enough times, she doesn't sell it anymore. So if you're interested in anything from House in the Night or Blue on Blue, which I don't own, but I know of, and I want to get it, but I just haven't gotten it yet, email her, go to her website and ask her. You can get prints of these. She'll actually make a print from her woodcut of these. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. It's a lot of information to pack into this. And it's kind of, things are kind of slowing down now. I'm kind of filling in a few gaps, and then I'm going to go back to the searching endlessly for 70s and earlier. So not sure when the next video will be, maybe months from now. And I'll catch you then.